Welcome to the Endurance for Everyone podcast.
Hey guys, it's Rob here today, and in today's sprint episode, I'm going to cover what's in Rob's bag. Getting ready to go out and do my triathlon this weekend, and like any good triathlete, I have all of my stuff ready, and I check it, then I check it again, and then I check it again, and then 16 more times before I get there, and then I'll check it another dozen or two once I'm there as well. Really, what I want to try to do is break down, because I've had some people ask some questions through the years, like what do you need, what don't you need, etc. And we've covered this previously, but I just wanted to kind of extract it and put it in one quick little place for you here. So I'm going to give you a layout and then go through it. And then basically I'm going to give you the basics. I'm going to give you some of the stuff that's nice to have, why I think it's nice to have that stuff, the extras, the stuff that I have in there, and then I'm also then going to throw this disclaimer up front, and then I'm going to break it down a little more on the back end. What I'm talking about is for a sprint triathlon, which should be about the same for an Olympic. Half Ironman, you're going to get a little bit additional gear there. This might maybe have some stuff that's, I'm using air quotes, needed. And the full, I've never done one, but those needs are going to be slightly larger as well. So straight up, what do you need? First off, you need a bag. With that being said, is through the years I've seen different things and or different solutions. Used them several myself. Started with, I had like a book bag. Then I went there, to there being one of my first tries, and I saw some people that had like little Rubbermaid Tupperware trunks, and I'm like, that's a great idea. So I had one of those, although way too big, 2 feet tall and all that. You're not going to be putting that much gear in it. And eventually now I do have a triathlon specific. I picked it up at an expo on like a deal, and there's dozens of different brands out there. And they actually break down the bag really nice because they'll have different compartments generally labeled for where you're going to put your different gear. So what goes in there? The basics. The absolute basics. What do you need just to get through the race? Let's hit swim, bike, run for all of these, and that's the order you do it. So swimming, you need trunks or a swimsuit. You need something to put on to cover up. They probably aren't going to let you in the water in the buff. And a pair of goggles. And those are even optional. They're not required. It makes it much easier, though, to swim any distance with a pair of goggles. Biking. You're going to need a bike. That doesn't fit in your bag. That's kind of something extra. You're going to need shoes of some sort, whether they're bike shoes or or just tennis shoes. It doesn't matter. Something to go on your feet. Once again, optional. If you want to pedal barefoot and run barefoot, more power to you. And they're all going to all races are going to require you have a helmet. Running, and I put once again shoes. If that, you don't necessarily need different shoes. Some people, if you want to have flat pedals or toe clips on, and toe clip is like the little cage that goes around your toe. That's why, cycling terms, when they say clipless pedals, they mean no toe clip, but that's where you'd have the cleat on the bottom. It's counterintuitive, but that's the terminology. You could just wear running shoes on the bike. If you want to, once again, you want to run barefoot, go ahead. And then I did put shirt or race belt. You're going to need, when I say a shirt or race belt, they're going to require you to wear your number on the bike. Not on bike. The bike, the numbers will be on your frame or on your helmet, but on the run, they're going to have another number that they're going to want for you, and you're either going to pin it to the shirt and then put it on, or when I say race belt, I just have one of the real thin little elastic with the 2 little pieces of, almost like shoestring hanging off of it that I put the number on. Makes it quick and easy for transitions. That's it. That's the basics. Everything else I'm going to cover here is going to be additional gear, why I have it. It's nice to have. You don't need to run out and buy it, but I'm going to tell you what I have, why I have it, and so forth. First and foremost, Pete, if you're listening, here's an answer to a question you would ask prior to having me on your show. A Trysuit. Now, I wear a one-piece Trysuit. It looks almost like a women's swimsuit. You're going to have shoulder straps. You're going to cover your full body down into the crotch. Generally, it has little shorts built in. Trysuit is going to have a real thin chamois. Chamois is basically code or term for padding in the crotch area. So you have a little bit for whenever you're riding your bike, but it's not enough that it's going to be in the way whenever you're then going on to the run portion. Okay. Now I actually pack two. I have multiples. I've picked them up through the years. Why two? Well, in case you go to put one on the race morning and the zipper breaks, wardrobe malfunction. It's nice to have a spare. You don't need to. And once again, I use a one piece. Some people do wear two pieces where it's basically the shorts. They only swim in the shorts. Then they have either a tri-top or a t-shirt or a tank top that they'll put on for the bike and or the run. Check the race rules. Some races will let you race topless, men, not usually women, but usually are going to, so most of them are starting to require it, just not so much for modesty, but more for safety if you were to wreck, so you're not going to get messed up too bad. I then pack two pairs of socks. Now, I don't actually wear socks on the bike, but here's why I pack two pairs of socks and why am I putting them in my swim section. I take my goggles, take the socks apart, so I have two socks, and I have prescription goggles because I have glasses. So I put a pair of prescription in one, I put a pair of regular swimming goggles in the other, so that way the lenses aren't getting scratched up. I take the other pair of socks and I take my sunglasses, which I'm going to use later, but I always keep these in the same compartment on the bag. Put my sunglasses in it, and I put that in the bag. I actually have a third set of goggles because it's happened where I've got to the race site or I've seen myself or someone where the strap is broke. So it's nice to have a spare set, although once again, not required. So that's why I actually have three pairs of goggles. That's way overkill, but once again, one's for if I can have my contacts, one's if I'm going to have my, if I'm going to be wearing my glasses. Also, that's why I have two pair of sunglasses, prescription and regular. I never ride a bike without sunglasses. Wind, not so much for the sun, but more of it's a wind and bug protection thing. They're cheap. I shared before. I have a $3 set of tinted safety glasses. You can pick them up at Lowe's. That's what I use. Kind of between the swim and the bike, you got your transition. This is where I have water bottles, plural. I have towels, plural. And then previously, I've seen some people use a bucket or a tub. Same deal. They've used it to carry their gear in, but also some people use it. They pour water in it so they can wash their feet off, or they want to sit on the bucket. It's a sprint triathlon. Most people aren't going to need to take that long of a break, and they're trying to get in and out as quick as possible. So not required. I've seen it, done it. I don't personally take the stuff. I do still have the tub in my bag, but more so just so it keeps stuff separated. I said towels, plural. I take three. I take a regular size bath towel and I lay it down on the ground. I have and I'll get into that later in a transition setup, but I lay it down. Then I have basically two hand towels. One that I wet, so when I get out of the water, I do wipe off my feet, and the same after the bike if I need to wipe them off before putting them in my run shoes. And a third that's just a spare, just in case. I said water bottles, plural. I always have one that I leave on the bike. I have a second one that I have filled with either nutrition or water that I'm going to take swigs of and leave in transition. So that way I have a drink between swim to bike and a drink between bike to run. Now, I do have one in the biking section. I have my bike shoes. Once again, I said helmet, sunglasses. Once again, those come from the essentials area. Bike shoes are the addition here. In addition, that's all I really need or take for my run. I have my, switching from bike to run, then I have my race belt, as I previously said, because I like to, just clip one clip, and I'm on. I have my race, and I'm ready to go. Once again, one piece Trysuit. I'm not wearing shorts. I'm not wearing a shirt. I do like a hat though, because I tend to be balding and I look better in photos with it. And I have run-specific shoes with, running shoes with stretchy laces, so that way I don't have to stop and tie them. Also, my bike shoes, they're quick. Most of the time, you're not going to have bike shoes that you're tying. You're either going to have Velcro or they're going to have mine have these little knobs that you click and you kind of ratchet it down to make it cover or to make it quicker. Other stuff in my bag, and this is earlier, I should have mentioned it, is kind of pre-race, is, I have my watch, I'm wearing that to the race site. I have my heart rate strap, that goes on under my Trysuit, so I'm wearing that the whole time. I take a watch charger because my watch right now, this morning I put it in my bag, it's 100% charged. That doesn't mean that it's not going to turn on and go dead. So I like to keep it in my charger, and I always check that, the night before the race. I do wear a road ID. That being said, is the one that was given to me as a gift, it has the regular band. It also has a triathlon band, which is a much longer one. So that way, when you get your timing chip, if they still use the ankle mounted timing, which they do, so it's on you the whole time, um, you you know it, you I wear my own strap, and that way I'm always wearing the same one. It's comfortable and so forth. Food and drink. Take something for breakfast, and I like to get a gallon of water. Once again, I'm filling two 20-ounce bottles, and I have a little bit extra there in case I want to dump it on my feet or have a little bit to drink after the race and so forth. Other extras in my bag. At this point, I have extra shoelaces in case one was to break. I have an extra spare tube, CO2, tire levers, patch kit. And when I say extras, because I have that all in the bag that hangs under my seat in case I need to change a flat on the course. But if you have to change a flat in transition, you don't want to use your stuff that's kind of allocated for being out and away from transition. In my bag, I also have an assortment of little bolts, zip ties, little Velcro straps, and tape, just in case something were to break and you need just a little quick, something, day of repair. I also have bike tools and some other tools, some screwdrivers and stuff just to have it. I also have a pair of cleat covers. They're like $6. They go over your cleats in case you're going to be doing any extended walking or running. I'm not so good, and I'll talk more race strategy later, but I generally carry my shoes. I don't use the cleat covers because I keep them there just in case, but I carry my shoes to the start line and put them on. They're slippery to run in, and I'm not good at doing the flying mount. Also in the bag, baby wipes, in case you need them to wipe down after the race. They always say to carry a marker in case you have to do your own body markings. I do carry safety pins in case the race belt, something were to happen, I can still pin it to there. And I also have, a t-shirt, and I say pants, shorts, sandals, Crocs, etc. Generally, what I'm going to wear to the race site, because I'm going to have my tri-kit on, but I'm going to wear shorts, t-shirt, wear that stuff to the race site. Then I take it off and throw it in the bag, and that way I have it to wear after the race, so that way I have something clean and dry to put on. Now, like I said, sandals, Crocs, etc. I actually have a pair of Vibram five-finger shoes that I just leave in the bag. That's because I don't like to walk barefoot from transition to the swim. My wife or somebody is generally there, so right before I get in the water, I take them off and give them to them. But that way I have something to wear after. You don't want to wear your shoes that you're planning on running in from the transition down, because you might be a point-to-point swim. You may not have the opportunity to get back out of the water and at the same place and get your gear. You want to make sure your run shoes, are in transition. I also keep either a shopping bag. I actually have a shoe bag. When I say shoe bag, those little bags with the ties, drawstrings on the top that you can pretty much get for like $1, or people give them to you at every race. I like to just throw all my dirty clothes into that after the race. That way it's all in one spot. The only other piece of equipment that it's very nice to have, bike pump. Now, I don't carry it in my bag. I keep it in the car. Pump the tires up before I take it in. 99.9% chance you're going to, if I have somebody in transition, that's going to have a pump. But you can't rely on it. A lot of the smaller races don't have that. Some of the bigger ones, I say most of the bigger ones, when I did nationals in New York, they actually have bike stations where they'll actually work on or fix it, and if pumps and all that. Generally, though, the line to get into those things are hours long, so you can't rely that you're going to be able to use those. As I had said, everything I've covered is pretty much here for a sprint triathlon. Olympic. The only thing that I add to this is maybe a little more food, meaning it's a little bit longer of a race for me. I'm going from an hour sprint to a 2-hour Olympic 220, so maybe one extra bar. For me, if you're using goos and gels, you want to add a few more. Half Ironman. to a full. So the talk a half, I've done that. Definitely more food, for the morning. You're probably going to start looking at this time for needing some sort of salt or electrolyte replacement, whether that's going to be, um, salt sticks or Vinny's new, salt tabs or, Gatorade or whatever you're using. You're going to want to definitely account to have some of that in your bag. That way you can have that on the bike and or the run. At this point also, I generally, when I'm doing a half Ironman, will look into a bike jersey and bike shorts. Now, why would I want to wear 2 layers of clothing? Well, the bike jersey is going to have more readily accessible pockets. So if you are eating, you're going to be able to, once again, you put all that stuff in your bag, you put it all in the bike pocket. That way, when you get in transition, you throw it on, all your nutrition is already right there ready to go. Bike shorts, hey, you're talking 56 miles, much different than 20. It's nice to have that little bit extra layer of padding. The 30 seconds it takes to put them on and take them off is not that detrimental. It's going to be worth it. Bike shoes, I think, are a must at this distance. You don't want to go flat pedal, Then if you are doing, that's where, most people, I'll run in, once again, my tri-kit, so I'm not taking the time to put on shorts or a shirt. You can. Once again, I have race belt, but now I'm talking something a little more intricate, maybe an SPI, like a small personal item belt, little stretchy ones, because you're probably going to be taking your own nutrition, so you're not relying on course. If you are saying, I'm going to just use what's on the course, you're going to know that in advance. Full Ironman, I've never done one, but that's where you're really going to start looking at now you're getting into where they have drop bags, meaning you don't just have your stuff in transition. You might have a bag that you're going to pick up or be able to stop and get at mile 56 of the bike, halfway through or halfway through the marathon. And I've heard of people putting complete changes of clothing, whether it's, different bike jerseys, extra food, watch chargers, all that stuff in those drop bags. That way they have them. But you need to pay attention, because if you're getting into a drop bag situation, sometimes what you don't get gets thrown away. You don't get it back. So you don't want to be putting your prescription sunglasses and stuff in there. That's about it. The only other thing I didn't really cover, and it kind of goes with me everywhere, and that is, I keep, chapstick, bug spray, and sunscreen. I keep that kind of in my general hotel bag where I'm going to be staying and getting ready. Thing is, you don't want to put your sunscreen on until after you get your body markings, because it's hard for the marker to stick. So, you could have it in your transition bag. It's not necessary, but if you're going to be out there for 6, 7, 8 hours, you probably are going to want to have it on and be able to reapply it. So that's that should wrap it up. That's what's in Rob's bag. That's all the stuff that's packed. Once again, you could listen to it. That's the from the basics to what's nice to have to what what's really, when I say what I've used and haven't used. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you later.
If you have comments or questions for the show, send an email to teamE4E at enduranceforeveryone.com. And remember, swim calm, bike strong, and run steady.